made it.
Yeah.
Technical difficulty.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me see.
Does it work?
Interesting. Yeah, let me see.
Okay, maybe now. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The out of focus, yeah. Manage. Cool. All right. So yeah, the usual 5 minutes after the time. So that's good. We used it up all. So I'm very glad to welcome Professor Wenke from Georgia Tech. So Wenke is a Regents Professor and John Imlay Junior Chair at Georgia Tech. His research interests include system and network security, malware analysis, applied cryptography, and machine learning. He received his PhD in computer science from Columbia University and is an ACM Fellow and an IEEE Fellow. So the bio is very humble because Wenke has been in security for decades.
30 years.
30 years. And I guess he's one of the few that back 30 years ago started to actually use machine learning in this context and proper machine learning. So we can say that he's a kind of a precursor of the time because now everyone uses machine learning. AI is kind of interesting. So but Wenke has been doing this for quite some time. So he's been banging his head a lot on understanding system security, program analysis, and machine learning and intersectional all of this. So it's a great pleasure to have Wenke here today to talk about privacy and reliability issues of AI systems, which is, of course, a very hot topic nowadays. Thank you, Wenke. So
Thank you. Thank you. So I've known Rolando for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Some of our friends, we always go to the same conferences, and I think visited Georgia Tech at least once or twice and so on. So I mean, I actually also visited here multiple times, even when Rolando was at the other university in the London area. So we go back for a long time. So I mean, it's interesting that, like Lorenzo was saying, when I did my thesis, my advisor was, I mean, if I were use the obvious, that we should apply machine learning to security. I was like, okay, you said so. Okay, so it was interesting. Definitely ahead of time. I remember when I was presenting my work. I mean, some of the reviews from using security, they would say, well, your paper caused me to toss and turn at night. I just could not believe this thing would work. Because in the 1990s. So actually that caused me to essentially stop doing this kind of work. Right after my graduation, because I figured that for me to get tenure, I could not possibly just continue to research in applied machine learning to cybersecurity, because it's very clear that the large security field, they did not believe that. So that's why I kind of pretty much switched into mostly network security, system security. I mean, I wish I did not kind of stop, but then I think by around 2005 and 6-ish, then you started to see, at least the industry started to pick up. So for example, this company called Splunk, you've heard of Splunk, right? Big data company. Now they claim themselves a security company. Why? Because they've been collecting data for a long time. And really since the 2005, 6-ish, they started to say, hey, we have a lot of data, we can analyze and apply data mining, secure data analysis. They started to use the term machine learning. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, so that's so anyway, I could probably give almost a different talk in terms of my view of, let's say, applied deep learning or LLM to security, which is completely different talk, because it seems to be a lot of challenges and a lot of shortcomings are something that we encountered when we were doing this 30 years. So anyway, but today we decided to give a different talk because it's time to be fair, right? So basically, I think the point is that, I mean, I would say that in the 1990s, when you were in grad school, you said, hey, what are you working on? AI. We instantly feel very sorry for you. I'm not joking, literally feel very sorry for you. Because back then nobody believed AI would work. We said, I do machine learning. We said, maybe that's the last hope. Turns out to be really the last hope, like deep learning or that. When I said you should never bet against anything, right? Because it's a don't know. Right? For example, people now, where this whatever Apple's Vision Pro is virtual reality, augmented reality, it's actually not new. When I was in grad school, my the office next to mine. One day, at the door, on the door, they will say, you know, somebody posted a page, you know, they tore from a magazine. The title of the article said, top 10 most hyped technologies. Number 2 was augmented reality. This is 1990s. So my point is that augmented reality, virtual reality, they're not new here. But hey, if you continue to work on it now, maybe that's your time. So anyway, so you guys as students, don't bet against anything. If you really like this thing, you believe that things work on it. Maybe 30 years from now, all of a sudden, hey, you're on top of the field. Okay. Anyway, so my point is that maybe this time around, AI may work. Okay. So but really my attitude is that there are things that okay, so that AI continue its path, but the other things we should really be more careful. My point here is that at least to me, there's orthogonal from sort of high level point of view, there are at least 2 orthogonal types of AI applications. One is what I call exploration, which is, let's say you pointed your vision system to the sky, say, tell me, is there any new star there? Most of the time, tell you garbage. I mean, whatever star is there, new, that's not new. But every now and then, there's something new. That's a gem, right? So meaning that it's okay for the AI system to make a mistake. It's okay that it's time for you to sift through the reports all that. So that's so like every time you see a news report, say, oh, this AI system find a new drug. Awesome. They only report the positive things. I bet that 99% of the time they tell you garbage. Okay, but that once in a while things is worthwhile to keep trying, right? That's exploration. On the other hand, other critical systems, you cannot let your autonomous driving system say, oh, you know what, you should turn left. But that was already miles away. Come on. So basically for those systems you want it to be on time, like real time, reliable. So those things I don't think are quite there, right? So a lot of things we should consider in order to say, hey, I want AI system to replace my existing applications, right? First of all, you cannot say, hey, I use AI system to automate and replace my existing system. Okay, I think to me, the minimum requirement is that, are you doing better? You cannot say, oh, I automate it, runs faster, but itself is actually that's worse. Really, who wants that, right? So you don't do that. Actually, there's a lot of things which consider security, privacy, reliability, all that. So today I'm going to give you a few examples of what we do. Pretty quick, high level stuff. I mean, to you guys should be very simple, obvious stuff. And then the more challenging or deeper question is that I'm sure I'm talking to Lorenzo that, you know, at least in the CS department here, you guys are people in your policy and visibility of that. So those things increasingly we should consider at the design time, not after the technology has been, you know, rolled out. So, oh, I wish I did this sometimes today. So for example, right, you know, using biometric data of face to do authentication seems to be a reasonable idea, but then there's a lot of privacy concerns. For example, if I say, hey, you can walk into this building, I think I'm talking to Lauren, so that, you know, some places go to, let's say, in the country, just, you know, your face has been captured in their database, the backend server. Just imagine that every door, right, there's a camera, they capture your face, send the face to the backend system, say, oh, same person, same Lorenzo is in. Awesome, very convenient, right? But on the other hand, if you know he wants to be somewhat anonymous, that's, you know, but the server stores his clear picture face. Then if the server is compromised, then essentially people would have the hackers would have a copy of the face, right? That's actually not good. It's almost like, why is it not a how to put it, why is that concern? Well, think about password, right? So the point is that, so all these concerns, of course, you can use Apple, you know, your phone and mitigate that, because so iPhone is actually really interesting because you know this iPhone architecture, this secure enclave, is completely separate processor, separate software, and then Face ID is stored in the secure enclave, so that since it's isolated from the main processor and also doesn't have the main hardware. Its software is separated from the main software with iOS, so which means even if your phone is compromised, it still cannot extract Face ID from your phone. Okay, so that's different from what we talk about here. What we talk about here is that if you want a convenience where you can go anywhere without an iPhone, be authenticated using a face that requires server storage of something about face, right? Whereas here, you basically have to carry your phone, and then whatever the authentication system has to basically talk to your phone. Which is, okay, what's the problem? The problem is that, let's say if you lost your phone, you buy a new phone, it's actually pretty easy to actually talk to, let's say, Apple, to convince, hey, I'm Roland's, a good friend of him, I know that, his wife or kids, all that. I mean, basically, you know this person enough, or have enough about this person, you can actually pretty feasible through social engineering, whatever, to actually convince the sales rep to say, I'm that person. Then you can still essentially impersonate the person, even though you don't have the same face, right? Because your face ID was stored in the old phone. When you switch a new phone, if you do not really, or if somebody says, hey, I need from this person. So meaning that, because you secure your face ID in your phone does not prevent impersonation, because the server does not have the face. Still relies on your password and some kind of information that can be obtained through some social engineering or some other attacks. So really, what we try to say is that, can we, if you say I would convenience that use my face, in any way people can recognize me, but the server still does not know who I am. That's really what we're asking, because that way the server knows who you are, but doesn't really store your clear face. So if the server is compromised, you still don't worry about your face data would be essentially stolen, and then people can impersonate you, right? So essentially what we're asking is that, can we have the same setup as password? Think about it. Your server stores half your password, not your password. Okay, so even if server compromised, they still have your password. Okay, so good luck. You can do a brute force to get some password. Can we do the same thing here, right? So maybe your first reaction is, yeah, sure, of course, it's hash your face, hash your image, the face image. Except doesn't work. Is that that's different between a password which is string, or whatever thing you can hide, which is completely meaning every time type password has the same password, right? Hash going to be the same. Whereas you may say, hey, Russell's, since you don't move, I take a picture consecutively, I guarantee you that some pixel will not be the same. And the way to do a hash is, one pixel you flip, boom, the hash value will be very different, right? So that's the main challenge, except that the cryptographers that would just say, for quite some time. So this whole area in cryptography called fuzzy extractor. Basically, they were designed to actually deal with biometric data like face or fingerprints. And the trick there is that you extract, in particular, if they work with deep learning or image processing, to say, hey, I take a picture of, let's say, Lorenzo. I extract bits from the image that essentially are the key features of a person's face. And both using those strings as the encryption keys to encrypt secret. So instead of just storing the hash of your face image, I extract enough characteristics from your face, using those characteristics as the key, and then store the encrypted secret. And then to authenticate, you store the same face, then most likely the same keys will be extracted, and then be able to decrypt the encrypted secret. That's how you prove that you are the person. So that's how they work. Okay. So basically, I will quickly walk through. I already tell you an idea. So we develop the system. Essentially, walk through some details of what is described, right? So basically, let's say when you enroll, you show up the face. We do quality filtering, basically filter out some noise. We know like your background, all that kind of thing. Your hair, ones will show up with different hairstyles. Those things would be actually noise as noise. Okay. Then you basically go through a deep learning kind of process, and essentially have embedding of your face, right? That's what deep learning would produce, and then we extract from deep learning the embedding of the visual face, some of the key areas of face data into substrings, and then it's so-called noise reduction, is how you build it here. Meaning that even though I see, let's say, I focus on the eyebrows, your eyes, and nose, and mouth, still sometimes just depending on the situation, may be a little bit different, right? So even for those areas, you want to basically tolerate enough noise. So the way we do this is that, first of all, we say, hey, we do some bit mask, meaning that even though you extract this string with so many bits, let's say I only want certain bits. So you're basically using mask to mask out some other, some other areas. And another thing is that you want to extract multiple these kind of strings. Let's say you extract, let's say n strings, let's say 10. You say, hey, if 2 out of 10 matches, most likely the same person. You say like, oh, well, maybe I, suppose I do, let's say, the string, let's say 5 bits. Oh, well, we have 2 eyes, 1 nose, and a mouth. That's 5 data points, yes, right? I just, let's say 100 times, because every time I data a little bit, I move the data a little bit, right? So which means really the same person, I would say some, some number out of this 100, let's say, I don't care, 20 out of this 100 will match. Right, so it really is a threshold there to say, if enough those would match, I guarantee it's the person. Hopefully you're convinced of that. Okay, so basically then we do essentially take the string, take a mask, and then whatever the result we call it then becomes a key that we use to encrypt a random secret. And then the server essentially stores the encrypted secret and also the hash of the secret. And that's what the server stores when you enroll. Okay. So we already spoke to that, yeah. And then so basically that's what we're saying here. And then you went to the authenticate, you show up in any camera. You actually go to the same pipeline and you extract, basically extract from the face, some of the, go to the same extraction process from the image when you authenticate. And then let's say, again, generate, let's say 100 keys. And then essentially the server sends the encrypted secret, let's say 100 of them, because when you enroll, let's say they extracted 100 keys encrypted the random secret, using different keys 100 times. Sorry, right? The server sends you these 100 encrypted secrets. Then the server expects you to be able to decrypt, let's say, 20 out of 100. And then the thing is that when you're able to decrypt those secrets, you hash the secrets in that out. And the server says, okay, do I get a safe hash? If yes, that means you are able to decrypt the secret and to produce the proper hash value. So that's how you authenticate. So again, it is about the server storing the secret using keys extract your face, and then expect that when you authenticate, you're able to decrypt those secrets. That's all. It's very similar to password hashing, except like I said, we're using fuzzy extraction for the face data. So that's all. Super simple, isn't it? So basically, this type of thing. All right. So yeah. Some of the basic assumptions, like let's say the server may be compromised, but to us it doesn't matter because the server stores the encrypted secret, right? And even if you obtain that, you cannot guess what the face will look like because basically you guess the key and then actually you can guess the key, you can actually reverse the face. That's the thing that we learned. But things that now, because all you guess is encrypted secret, from cryptanalysis point of view, just because you have ciphertext doesn't lead you to the keys, right? And of course, the hash of the secret doesn't really tell you much for a function. There are other, the liveness, I'm going to talk about that later. And then I think somewhere we say that we don't deal with, there's some limitations. I don't think, I can maybe understand. For example, what's the secret here? Okay, so basically, we cannot deal with, let's say, identical trick. That's something that we cannot deal with, right? Basically, if you're transfer brother, that's something like local identical, that's something we cannot do. Otherwise, it's pretty good. One study we have done is basically say, in terms of attack, you do brute force. For example, I say, I don't know how the person looks like, I just try some random faces. It's possible. I mean, not zero, just like guessing a random input that will match a hash. So the question is how many you try at brute force. We did our experiment about like we probably need to try more than 1 billion faces randomly. To be able to say, oh, happen to run a person where it looks like me, looks like close enough that you know authenticate. So and then we also did some back of the calculation, rough calculation, say how strong it is, meaning using a face as the authenticator. It's about close to 30 bits of entropy. I wouldn't say it's as strong as a random password, but still, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not advocating using face as the main factor. Could easily be a second factor or a supporting factor, right? For example, let's say if I'm on Twitter. Of course, if you say I'm Lorenzo, I'm Wenke, then of course people can Google your name and find out who you are. But suppose you have a pseudonym on Twitter, okay? But you want people to know that there's a real person behind the pseudonym. So when you tweet, people know that's a actual person on a part. Wouldn't that be great? And you also don't want people to know who you are. So I think we can use this to achieve that. Now, why does Twitter don't use that? That's a $1 million question. And a lot of politics behind it. My guess is they actually want fake news. They want the impression that a lot of people supporting their opinion. So in fact, they want bots in the posting tweets. They want fake stuff. That's my only conclusion. Okay, so far we have not had great success in terms of asking people, hey, adopt this. I can achieve both privacy and authentication. Why not? Whatever. So that's the lesson I learned. Meaning that because when we develop the technology, or people deploy this thing, none of us get involved. So that's why it's out there. So people either get used to it or there's some other political motivation. So very quickly, a similar thing that we did on surveillance. So I don't know about UK, but in the US, of course they would call some other countries, oh, there's surveillance, the police states. Then I learned, what, in the drug vaccine, Atlanta, then I found out that Atlanta has the highest number of cameras per capita in the US. I'm thinking, holy cow. So that really means that you walk around in Midtown, let's say in the area, likely that you will be captured just by the fact that you're standing at street corner in a video. You say, what's wrong with that? No, I mean, for public safety, there's a lot of value. I mean, first of all, we already gave that when you check in the airline. Okay, that's okay. And plus, you cannot tell the police people say, hey, can you provide my privacy? They would try to go away. We'll see what we have. Everybody's fixed, right? But the point is that let's say your random security functions or security guards. I mean, you can take a picture of any place or buildings or whatever, and then they search it as most wanted person. You say, what's wrong with that? Well, nothing wrong with that from public safety point of view, but from privacy point of view, just because you're also standing there, now you're being captured. And so run news, if they forget to mask your face, people go, Lorenzo was there. Why was he there? Hopefully it was not there for some funny business, and your wife say, what's up? Like so that kind of thing is normally not good, right? So the point is that the question is that can be sort of the reason is that right now the state of the art is falling, right? Everybody heard about this company? It's big, very big in the US, Clearview AI. So basically, this company is scraping internet. Gets everybody's face, most likely including you guys. And then they have a huge database of every person, every faces that they can get. And then they're now starting to sell this service. So whether it's illegal or not to scrape internet and get people's face, I don't know. But that's their strength, is their data. Okay, you can claim that they get data. Is it illegal? I don't know. But anyway, the point is that right now, so they have a huge database of everybody they know, or everybody that has a face on the internet, and that actually help them to basically sell the service to all kinds of surveillance companies, law enforcement, and private companies. So the way that it works is that you basically capture your face in the camera, and then you send everything is going clear, including clear face. You send to the database search, and then tell you the result. Okay, who the person is, and so on and so forth. What's the history of this person? You say, what's wrong? I mean, depending on where you are in terms of what you consider about as a privacy. Think about it. The more people doing this search, the more information Clearview has. So this person likes to go to this kind of places. Basically, actually give Clearview AI a very good way of profiling people.
I don't know whether they're starting to capitalize that kind of data yet. I don't know, but they could easily. They almost have very clear, unquestionable evidence that this person was there at that time. He or she shops there and go there. That kind of thing. Isn't it crazy? All right. So then my question is, can we have both public safety and individual privacy? Right. So the thing is that meaning that hey, it's okay to search me, but everything should stay encrypted. Even when I search my face, clear view AI should not know that I'm being searched. So the clear view AI cannot get information about what who I am and and whether I was there or not. So that kind of privacy, right? So actually, again, it's actually pretty simple stuff. Well, a little bit more complicated than what it show. Basically involves essentially, first of all, extracting your face from media. That's very easy. Any computer people, yeah, that's a long time ago. And then things that, or what I'm showing is that you can then encrypt your face and search your encrypted face over this database, and also you can encrypt this database and you can do all this secure two-party computation, such as using really homomorphic things to match. Those things are pretty standard crypto you can do. So the things that what we can do is that, let's say you encrypt your face, do a search. When you search, we can guarantee that the server doesn't know who's being searched. Okay, and the server only knows the result. The server doesn't even know the result whether there's a match or not. And the client, meaning the entity who sends the face to be searched, will know if there's a match. We will not even know there's a partial match. Let's say I don't know whether Lorenzo has a younger brother or not older brother, but even if it's not this person, but someone looks like him. I have a partial match. That also information we can actually hide from this kind of operation. So it really means that nobody knows nothing until there's a match. Even at that time, the server doesn't know. Only client knows. So really, from a law enforcement point of view, we say, hey, you do the search. Everything should stay encrypted. Only when there's a match, then you can decrypt that face and say, tell the police, hey, this person was there, and we have a different match. Anyway, so all these things actually play a role in crypto point of view. That's why I say you can encrypt the server to do this kind of matching over encrypted data, and which we have done this a long time ago, like surgical encryption is one idea, but that's actually something that we did something more sophisticated. We're doing basically the next way. So this some sample again, so it's noise. Let me just say that here to prevent kind of a so what we're doing here is that, let's say so what we're saying here is that, let's say the server let me see that show here. Let me go back to this. Okay, so first of all, let me say that we try to prevent the client to gain knowledge of some partial match. What we're trying to say here is that, let's say each person has a label. Then let's say the name of this person. This name or this label, we do secret sharing. Let's say instead of giving a name, let's say Lorenzo. You break this name Lorenzo into, let's say, 3 pieces. Do secret sharing. And we say you have to match 2 out of 3 in order for me to tell you that's Lorenzo. If you only match 1, we don't even tell you, oh, this partial match. No. You basically meaning that you either have a match or not. Do secret sharing. Okay, again, thresholding. So the point is that essentially that's influence how we actually do the sampling of the face when we do the match. So basically, let's say I want 2 out of 3 because secret share the name of the person. That means when you do a match, you actually match 2 out of 3 samples. So that's what it's showing. So that way you prevent the kind of knowing some partial matching result. All right. So then in terms of crypto that we use to make sure that the client doesn't, the server doesn't know the client's input and doesn't even know the match result. So basically what we're doing here is to say that, so the server sends the key and the mask. And then also encrypt its own data with the mask and also the key. And then sends the key and the mask to the client, and client encrypt its input. Then you do a two-party computation to do the match. Okay, so that way the two-party computation means that you basically you can nobody actually how to put it, you cannot know the other party's input, but you can still compute the same result. So that's what we do. Okay, so before I go to that, so really I'm not a crypto person, so all this work actually, I mean, my advice to my students, they never email crypto. And when you use crypto, always ask the cryptographers, hey, I'm doing this. If they tell you go away, that means you're doing it right. Nothing interesting. You say, okay, I think I can help them. It's okay. Something that they will help you improve. In this case, our intuition was correct, but then they came in actually clean out some of the stuff and then make sure they provide some proof. So that's my experience working with crypto people. So I don't pretend that I know most of this stuff, but I just trust, hey, if they say, yeah, it works, okay, awesome. So, well, my point of view from crypto point of view is not hard. Just, we did a lot of work to make it efficient. For example, say, okay, with all this crypto, can you actually do it mostly real time, meaning that the person is on the street corner, at the street corner, can you take a face, do a search and come back, like almost instantaneously? Now the answer is yes. So we worry about that kind of thing as systems person. The crypto person talks about, hey, what crypto do you use to make sure that it really, makes sense? Okay, all right.
Can I ask, in case you have false negatives of a match, I mean,
yeah,
how does it work, the protocol in theory? Like, will it retry, or because
no, it will not. It will not. Because you don't have false negative until you have clear fix, right? Meaning that it's encrypted, you false negative, how do you know false negative?
no, I mean, like, if it's myself and I try to authenticate, but I don't match short of.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're talking about the first, the months from the first one, yes. In that case, actually, I didn't present it here. We actually use the same scheme for fingerprint as well. So you can combine fingerprint and your face. So that if your face does not match, it is fingerprint will match. But that's complicated in the sense that sometimes you can use false negative, sometimes you can choose false positive. So it's never a. Yeah, so the thing is, the thing is that with the face authentication, you can try it again. And sometimes will actually allow you to authenticate yourself. I would say that for face-based authentication, I think the main complaint is the response time. Not that it's like this. Let's say the client software like capture your face and send stuff in, all that kind of thing. Actually runs pretty fast, except the first time. It has to load the JavaScript, all the initialization kind of takes 2-3 seconds. But after that, actually pretty fast. So yeah. And then, like you said, to prevent false negative, you can, if the first time failure, you can basically try again. Yeah, or you may use.
Isn't there a chance that at some point it may match if I try to translate Lorenzo? Or...
No, it won't. Because every time goes through the same process, right? Take your face, extract keys, and then try to see whether you can keep secret, right? So meaning that the first time maybe you are in different angles, maybe the way that the points being extracted is somewhat not matching. Yeah, but if you kind of look at more squarely in camera, they much better chance to get out of it. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. So now switch again. I was doing biometric enrollment. So recently, I was at the Singapore a couple weeks ago at a security show. The most, the coolest moment was seeing Taylor Swift there at a security show. Do you believe that? Do you think she'll show up at a security event? Of course not. Why would she? Right? But things that was in real time. So what is showing here is a real time deepfake. That's a real person. You can look at the dress, Okay. So basically, if we went to a booth, the booth is supposed to show the people at the booth the pictures on their big screen monitor, right? So you walk in there, you should see yourself in the big screen. So, but then there's a big spot. If you stop there, then you become Taylor Swift or Brad Pitt, whatever, depending on the jet. So this friend of mine, she goes, I'm taking a shit, that's why she's, I'm gonna take a picture of myself. So that's pretty cool. Real-time deepfake. I was super impressed, like, wow, gee, I know deepfake, but so real-time, so real. That's something else, isn't it? So then the question is that really, I mean, the point is that deepfakes everywhere, if you look at it, from make some joke, like a security show to propaganda, of course, I'm sure, US is went through the election. Just one note about the election, right? Before the election, this actually 2020, before 2020, I work on election security. After that, I said, I don't want anything to do with these people anymore. I don't even want to vote. This is so crazy. Okay. And before this election, the recent election in the US, let's say the other side, you can guess which side. Keep complaining, the election can be rigged, the result can be trusted. But as soon as Trump won, nobody said it. Because everything went great. Seriously, using same technology, same people are voting. So really, to me, it's not an argument about technology. It's about what they think politically. Right. So to me, it's like you cannot say because someone won, there must be no attack, right? Really? Anyway, so I will stop there. Okay. So the point is, I'm sure there are a lot of things going on. I mean, I think that at my point you will see more of this stuff. Okay. I mean, it's more people are kind of into this kind of political struggles. And then for entertainment, I feel like, hey, Hollywood. I mean, I actually have some debate with people here say almost like you can make, your own movie using deepfake. Like some people say, yeah, would after like a few minutes would not be natural because it's sort of a human intuition, sense, whatever it's basically something about human that if you everything synthetic that's not natural. Okay, I'm not an artist, so I'll let those people comment on it. But anyway, but then even the trusted, so figure out, this, looks close enough, but then if you look carefully, it's not probably the top. So even, but the thing is that the reason all these things work so well is actually even for the good use of how to put it, experiments or research. I mean, the point is that the computer vision, it becomes so good that actually enable all these things. For example, right, let's say take a picture of this lady, okay? Then you can say, hey, then I can actually project or produce video that how would this lady look like if she walks? So some of the details are so real and so real that I believe that. Right, so meaning that the technology is there to generate data that actually is so realistic, so accurate. Okay, so that's really so really to me that the point I want to emphasize that so we actually have a paper in ACM Computing Survey on deepfake is that a lot of these deepfake that you see really it actually combines a lot of all these machine learning framework, not just one model, sometimes multiple models to make it really sophisticated, really looks very real. And just I told you one simplest thing, right? Let's say encoder decoder network. Basically, almost every different model starts from there, right? So basically, it's like this: the encoder, you take the input, let's say your face image, right? You have you take the input data and it's just a comparison and extract the most important thing that becomes an internal representation called embedding. For example, take for instance face picture. I may throw away his hair. Right. So embedding neural campaign, like I said, the eyebrows, eyes, nose, and mouth, and maybe ears. Right. So those are basically embeddings that your model tells you, hey, put more weight on these things because that's what you should focus on. And then the decoder say, okay, based on that, then I can basically redraw the face. So the decoder is used to basically take the embedding and then interpret either redraw the face or see whether it's the same person. Okay, same person, how well? Similar embeddings. So that's encoded everything. You basically put out data chain, say how this person, how should you recognize a person, what kind of ways, how do you check points and ways for different parts of your face. You can imagine it's pretty obvious. Basically, you input, then encoding, representation, then decoding, generate out. Okay, awesome. So what's anything to do with face? Yeah, I mean basically say, hey look, if the input is a bunch of actors including Tom Cruise, but then you mess up mess the embedding. They say, hey, I want you to redraw the face to a different person. Let's say keep the face, but then different hairstyle. That's very easy. You can basically manipulate the embedding so that it will be interpreted or drawn in different ways. But you keep the things you want, and then, or combine things, from different faces, right? So that's really that's a very, in a nutshell, how intuitively what the deepfakes doing. Okay, so for example, right, so let's say, all these famous actors, I think this, something else, Chris Evans, right? Chris Evans, Captain America, right? This is, what's his name?
Robert Downey.
This guy, what, the, Iron Man. Yeah, anyway. So actually, he actually gave a commencement speech in my son's school. Not his year, but yeah, we just showed up. Oh, and yeah. So so basically, what happened is that you can so upon it to deepfake, you can basically mess with the embedding. You basically combine the embedding of, let's say, Tom Cruise and this guy for his name, pretty famous too, and then put him on with this. That's what deepfake is doing. It's a very hard way to say that's fake. Well, this looks, So anyway, so then what about detection? Okay, so some of these are pretty obvious, right? What's his name again? Well, anyway, maybe he's not acting for.
Is it Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage. Anyway, yeah. So the Clinton and then whatever. But point there. So different kind of deepfake can actually work for, let's say, forensic, meaning some of the signals are clearly from synthetic data, or some will say, hey, there's some of the, some of the muscle here are not very natural, and say, this kind of, I don't know, this purely weird. I mean, in that case, do normally detection, hey, nobody would look like that, whatever. So that's a pretty catchy-all kind of approach. Anyway, so how are these things doing? Of course, not that great, I would say. It's a kind of mouse. Okay, so fast forward, right? So basically, this guy actually not a real person, but super famous. Because I mean, at least in literature, you see this face a lot. Actually, this face generated by actually this the GAN model. By this GAN model. And the thing is that you can actually develop a signature-based classifier to say, hey, this image is generated by this GAN model. Inside this, because all these GAN models they generate these synthetic images, the way that they actually process the signals, that leaves some signatures. They tend to do using this function or that function, so that leaves some signatures or some of the, let's say the change of the, let's say, of course they didn't take a picture of her face. There's some, reflection to lights, right? So basically, those things, how to capture it actually requires a lot of image processing. So depending on the algorithm they use, when you generate synthetic data, you leave some signatures, right? So you can do some signal processing. That actually is not as smooth because the way that your face can reflect the light is different. So meaning that, so you can see that for these popular GAN models, you actually have different signatures for each. So the point is even that image that we show here, even you don't have interchanging data, the classifier can say, yeah, that was fake. Yes.
I have a question. So how robust is the model against adversarial manipulation?
That we talk about it. Okay. So basically, it's okay. Obviously, we have security guys. I can. So secure guy, almost secure one was like, oh, you have a defense, awesome. As long as I know that I'm going to defeat that, right? I want to know what I'm going to be used, what feature you use. I'm going to basically do a mimicry, basically. But in this case, it's even easier than mimicry. Think about this. The point is that you just manipulate enough signals. Flip enough signals. Flip the bits. Then I say, that's not fake. So again, this is not new. That's not news, right? For example, many years ago, people say, this image classifier, let's say you say that's a cat. Okay, awesome. You change a few pixels. Oh, that's a lot. You remember? Only a few pixels. And for me, that's my biggest criticism of deep learning. When I was doing my thesis, the biggest criticism of people kind of toss and turn at night, they didn't believe my work is that I use too much domain knowledge to do feature engineering. This is why in this case, why don't you write expert rule? There's more demand. Why do you have like do this feature engineering, use a lot of data, then you produce the rules that I have to handle them. Okay, to me, it's like I thought about it for a while, and I realized, you know what, at least for using machine learning, I actually use data to verify already whether your expert rule actually correct. Because at the end of the day, machine learning uses data analysis to actually see whether this is actually correct. So at least actually, my point is that if I produce a rule that works on machine learning data, at least I already have some validation point. Whereas you just using an intuition, where's your evaluation, right? Anyway, that's a different story. My point is that all these pixel manipulation works because when you give the image to a deep learning system, you didn't tell them what pixel they should ignore. So there's a picture, whatever pixel that they can distinguish from image point of view, the dog versus cat of the picture that's being shown to the algorithm, not the actual pixel that matters. Right. So for example, the famous example is that you change you saw a piece of dirt in a let's say a street limit sign. There's also the systems go off because even though it didn't mask the number. And the reason is that the machine learning system was not trained to recognize the numbers, to recognize the image. So whatever the image that you serve it in training data, that influence is model internally. So that's the biggest problem with deep learning is that all pixels are equally weighted. And also, another thing is that you can explain the model, so you don't know what garbage the model is. Anyway, like I said, I can give a totally different argument about the criticism of deep learning. Of course, the AI will say, oh, okay, I'll give you more data. Eventually, I go, we are the errors. Yeah, really. That means you know the limit of the knowledge, you know 100%. So then you can claim 99%. The point is we don't know what 100% is. So you never know what it is. Anyway, so that's a different story. Anyway, so like this answer is. So, like I said, the most to me as a security person, what I want to say is that there's a technical solution, which is that you have, let's say, this camera. Yeah, this is not a camera. Suppose you have a small camera capturing your face. If the camera has a chip, which a lot of small camera they do, right? They do have a computer chip. Or you just say, hey, when you manufacture that kind of camera, you embed a unique private key there. So when you take a picture or take a video, you compress it, hash it, and then sign it, and then put the signed hash on blockchain. That's your proof that you produce it. That way you can eliminate deepfake. Now, of course, that can possibly scale would be too expensive, too much storage. But suppose you're an important person, you want to make an important announcement, yeah, you should have that option. That way there's no deepfake. I think Hollywood can do so. Or they should, because they care about producing real movies and make money. Yeah, they should. They say, yeah, here's a signed hash of the movie that we shot. Okay. Why is not being used yet? I don't know. Could be economics. But then in absent from that, you can do a few things, but again, it's very kind of mouse. I'll show you a few examples, right? For example, you say use image to do live authentication. How do you know that the other person, let's say, I mean, first of all, I kind of have a cynical view about deepfake, right? For example, if this is a camera in front of a building, if somebody can put a picture of Taylor Swift and walking, come on, people can use that crazy. So my point is, it has to be context. Suppose I was an authentic person, this person was sitting in his home. How do you know he's faking? Okay, so that's the question, right? So the here what we're showing here is that you can pose a challenge. Say, hey, hold up a pencil. Or let's say I like this one. Hey, point camera to your body. They cannot do it unless they have pre-trained. A person can do this easily, right? The point here is that deepfake will work if you say, hey, I only want to see your face. The model has been trained to doing that, only have a deepfake face. But other things you have not, I mean, they say, what about deepfake that are showing the Taylor Swift? Yeah, they only know how to generate the face. So that's why it's very easy to superimpose the face. what if the deepfake say, I want to actually have a total body that look like, well, that probably is, I mean, human chain as well, but some particular dance move that only you can make, not Taylor Swift, Swift. That would probably be hard. My point is you can actually, using some code constraint, meaning that physically can the computer do this thing, the agent do the thing as fast as human, as natural as person. If you do this kind of challenge, you're able to detect the fake right now. But on the other hand, like I said, this is arms race, right? So quite possibly, you know, in the future, the computer is so powerful and real time they can, you know, enough knowledge and training data, they actually know how to react to this kind of data. Anyway, so that's the fake. Any question? Anyway, so last thing, I'll probably have just 5 minutes. Yeah. So basically, one of the questions is that can LLM use? Again, you know, this thing almost have not a single meeting that goes by in my group that we was talking about. I'm sure everybody does that, right? So I decided to see, you know what, let's look at some more fundamental questions like can do reasoning. And then basically people have different opinions of that. And fundamentally, there's different. Actually, I recently went to Abu Dhabi for a different event, and then the keynote on can LLM do reasoning. And then the keynote was basically say, what's reasoning? Basically, some of the philosophical, right? There's two kind of reasoning. I mean, there's a famous book called Think Fast and Slow by a famous economist. Right? Basically, a lot of humans, we make fast decisions based on just intuition, gut feelings, emotions, and probability. When you say probability, that's like as rational as we could be when we do fast reasoning, making fast decisions. Turns out that most of the time in life, even the economics advise about that, they actually make very fast decisions, not a slow one. Slow one is more computer programs, more logical reasoning, step by step, rigorous. That's super slow. It's almost, hey, should I buy this house? Should I go to this neighborhood Richmond? You do a slow reasoning? No, you probably do a fast reasoning. I mean, fortunately, you probably don't have the so-called bias regret. But bias regret is very common. Don't beat yourself up because that's the reaction. That's the consequence of doing fast and thinking. Okay. The point is that LLM most likely is something between fast reasoning and slow. Because at the end, if they're using probability to say, I'll give you the next token. How slow is this? It's not very slow, very fast, but also based on probability, not based on very good logical reasoning. So what we're trying to do in our work is that can we train LLM to do slow reasoning, slow logical step-by-step reasoning? I think our conclusion, yeah, so basically nobody agrees that, so we talk about this thing. And then we said, can we do some very basic logical reasoning? So we decided to do set solving. Set solving basically to me is like the most fundamental, simple, mechanical way of doing logical reasoning. The point is that if LLM cannot do this, there's no way LLM can do the kind of reasoning we computer scientists wanted to do. And so our result, well, I'm just showing the result. Basically, seems to me, if you not pay attention to, I think everybody should pay attention to the so-called chain of thought. Chain of thought means that I ask LLM or ChatGPT, say, solve this math question to me. Okay. I don't want you to give me the answer now. I want to show you. So I want you to show me the intermediate steps. That's super important. Not only you slow it down, logically, but also you say, hey, let's say the 10 step. You're good at step 1 to 5, but then starting from there, you're wrong. Then at least LLM knows where to actually backtrack and try again from step 5. He said, no, it's wrong. Then you basically ask it to almost start from scratch. Okay, so train of thought, super important. And so that's an example there. I'll let it go faster. So basically the point is doing set solving, right? So set solving is, let's say this formula, is it true or can you satisfy or not? Meaning that satisfy means that can you assign true or false to the variables to make it the whole formula to be true, right? False, unsatisfiable means that no matter what assignments you give to the variables, this formula can be possibly true. The point is to solve it you're actually doing step-by-step chain of thought, you backtrack. You say, hey, I assume, X2 to be true, X1 to be true, then, I can deduce that X4 can be false and so on and so forth, then boom, this fails, okay, that means those things fail, so that means my assumption here is wrong, I go back, backtrack, flip it where? Well, flip the closest one, that's here, try out, no, not again, so go back, then you flip the top one, okay, now this time works. So basically, you can see there's a very mechanical procedural search. Well, you backtrack, you flip the closest branch, try again. And then if that fails again, you go back up one more level, flip, do this. Basically, the point of this whole mechanical chain of thought thing, we cannot program out and do it, then I can do the condition anymore. Because it's as close to step by step as we can think of. So anyway, fast forward, I just want to give you summarized result because right now we are in submission of some major conference, organized campaigns. Anyway, disappointing, confusion is very common. So basically, we actually show that you can construct, the key was to construct, you construct LLM to do set solving. Meaning that, hey, I want you to follow the chain of thought, meaning that how I embed the formula, right? How do you assign true and false? And how do you remember the input, and then how do you know that it fails? Certified, because at the end, there's zero, not at least one. And then how to backtrack, the flip. Okay, we can construct LLM to do this. And then, yeah, I'm gonna show you that. Yeah, we can. Okay, and then we can actually say, hey, that's by construction. The next question is, can you actually give a lot of examples to LLM, and then hope they can actually learn how to solve it. That's a kind of mixed result. The most interesting for the training part is that, if you let's say chain the LLM to say, hey, here's training data, it only involves, let's say, 6 variables. Only from X1 to X6. And then let's say 3 set, meaning each clause only has 3 variables. Now that's a modular chain, and then you test within the same kind of distribution, say only 10 variables, the either 6 set or 5 set, whatever, actually pretty accurate. You can solve. Basically for majority of the time, right? Awesome. But the thing is this, so that's what we show here. Like within this range, you chain within the range, test within the range, it works. But I think as soon as you increase the number of variables, let's say you chain at most 10 variables. I say, hey, here's a formula that has 15 variables, which goes off. And logically, that's hard to actually understand, right? Because, hey, why is it solving, let's say, a 6 set different from 3 set? Is that the same thing? No. So, not from LM. To me, it's like, how they have not assigned or changed the weights, how they actually try different probabilities. Again, to me, that gives you a suggestion that when it comes to training, it's still based on a probability of training data. That's why if you train and testing within the same distribution, it works. But as soon as you give a different distribution, this has not calculated probability yet, and from the guess, most of the time they will not be able to guess right. But anyway, so that's the conclusion of my talk. Is that I walked you through some almost random stuff, but my point is that to summarize, privacy is super important. I think the only regrets that we didn't consider privacy when we roll out technology of using biometric. Now almost too late. Like I said, I've been trying the last couple of years, convince people to use our thing, nobody cares. I'll keep trying. Maybe Elon Musk, when he becomes whatever, the cabinet member, he was, oh yeah, let me pretend to care about privacy. We'll see. Anyway, and then I think that there's deepfakes are something we should be concerned about, and also more fundamentally, can we make LLM reason? And to me, the reason, the way to think about it is that if LLM, we can construct LLM to do 3 set, like I said, then maybe you can construct it to do, let's say, SMT. Then maybe there's some hope. Then in the future, you can say, let's say, imagine you describe a system, say, here are the safety properties. Then maybe LLM can process it to decompose it into, some problems that you can then go ahead and either call a set solver or use its own set solver, and so on and so forth. That way you have at least some path. There's some path forward that we can use LLM to do some reasoning about system safety. That's all. So That's all I have, and of course, a bunch of students, so yes.
Thank you for a great
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
I actually followed it. You're very good at explaining. I wanted to question the very last point you made.
Yeah.
About we needing guardrails.
Yeah.
And linking that to privacy.
Yeah.
I assume by guardrails you mean legislation and regulation.
Yeah,
Do you have a view on what that would look like?
that's a great question. We do have a privacy lawyer, in our department. And he said something about many years ago that as Wenke, the data collection fight is over, meaning that all these companies, including AI data, collect so much data about you. The kind of not to collect is that they'll laugh at you. Yeah, really, I know more about you than you realize. Right? So then the thing is that how do they use? That's the what that he wants to find. Meaning that it's a clear view AI, can we restrict clear view AI to not to share data? Or say, hey, you can only use that to do public safety, not other commercials, whatever. So that's something that from lawyer point of view they're finding. But to me, it's more like, yeah, I have to answer, right? For example, why is Twitter not using our technology? So that I know, maybe the way I imagine is that it would be nice if Twitter say, hey, you can register an AI account, you can choose to verify that you're a person. Then give you a different check. They're not doing it. Why? I don't know. Certainly, there's no policy or regulation out there yet. So I think I said the question. I would say that, when I talk to some policy colleagues, they say sometimes you need to be careful about whether a problem should be solved by regulation versus by industry. For example, spam. Spam, right? When spam first came out in the late 1990s, early 2000s, it's such a huge problem that the US Congress was thinking about regulating it. Meaning, send spam, that's illegal. I'm not sure if it's illegal or not, but then people say, well, I'm doing marketing, right? So why is that a problem? So eventually problem kind of solved by spam filters or Gmail kind of thing. So I think his point is that sometimes our urgency to use regulation may not be as good. So I don't have a good answer to that, but my point is that from a technology point of view is that, when we develop something that we intended to be used by, widely used by people, then we should really think about all these consequences, privacy, concerns, ethical concerns, all that. Without it's super consequential. For example, in the US, people complain about face recognition system to be biased. And basically, they're still good at recognizing blind men. So, these people are biased. The technology. No, the training data was biased. They didn't have training data that's representative enough. Right? And then things that when you talk to the AI people, again, the AI people are still in the wrong minds. Oh, just give me more data. To me, it's okay from technology point of view, they probably should have again politics involved, right? To me, as technologists, the most feasible solutions that you have special classifier for each ethnic groups or racial groups or males and female, but that's super critical. But to me, that makes both sense technically, right? Anyway, so to me, so that's why I think that's both challenging and interesting. The time we are in is that you cannot use a technical way to attempt to solve a problem because the problem is much more complicated than technical issues. But a great comment.
Yeah, I have a question about LLMs.
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask, what is the difference between the LLMs that reason interference and say standardized recursive practical programs?
Right. Yeah.
Like, do you see a performance increase in less number of steps taken? And if so, do you have any intuition why LLMs capable of performing better in those programs?
Yeah. Great question. So this is what that were involved. There are two other topics. One actually is specialized in set solving. It's kind of theory, right? So I think you can say they are better than the state-of-the-art set solving in terms of accuracy and efficiency. But it comes very close in the sense that we actually, that's why the way we construct it, we also try to parallelize you know, the set solving, very similar to the state of the art, set solvers. And, but I think it's not as accurate. I mean, it comes close enough. And also efficiency, I think there's some theory proof in our paper to say that it's within certain bounds, but I'm sure the state of the art will learn faster, for sure. Yeah. Another thing we did a limitation is that we had to construct LLM based on number of variables. Let's say 15 variables with 10 years. We had to construct it. But we had constructed this LLM set solver is for up to 15 variables. This is up to 20, whatever. Fortunately, you know, the student involved is super hard to crack. So amazing that. You actually had to compile it. If you compile based on the thing, then basically all of it spits out the LLM. Anyway.
I guess I also had a question, but 10 minutes are past, so I
Okay.
just wanted to,
Yeah.
the people that are online as well.
Yeah.
So let's thanks Wenke one more time.
Yeah.